Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, folks. Ohio State is eyeing a takeover, and it looks like the band's breaking up. Yeah, they're heading to the NFL, including the coach, it looks like. Yeah, there's a lot going on. First of all, I don't blame a quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, for heading to the NFL. He's a very good quarterback. He has the ability to run. He's an accurate passer. He didn't throw for a ton of yards this year, but he wasn't asked to. Michigan relied on bullying people, and they were really good at it. Their defense was outstanding, and they ran the ball beautifully. Blake Corum's heading to the NFL. I think he'll have a good career there. He's going to cash in. Now, the big thing is Jim Harbaugh. He's actually interviewing for an NFL job today, I believe. Let's take a look at that story. And Adam Schefter says Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh is meeting later today with the Los Angeles Chargers in his first interview of this hiring cycle, per league sources. A decision is not expected to be imminent for either side. Harbaugh will deliberate with any decision he makes about his future. The Chargers are still going through interview process and have other candidates that they plan to speak with. And it talks about the fact the Chargers have a great job. They've got Justin Herbert as their quarterback, which Harbaugh's not stupid. He knows you got to have a great quarterback in the NFL. You can't do it with an average one. And Herbert's very good. Now, I can't hardly blame Harbaugh for looking at this. Look, he's got a $125 million contract sitting on his desk. 10 years, $12.5 million a year. And he's not signed it. He doesn't like the fact that there's a stipulation in the contract that says you can't take a job in 2024 in the NFL. And look, he's not stupid. He knows this NCAA thing's coming, and he's probably going to get suspended. I would guess 1 year, something like that, with a 3-year show cause, which Michigan would totally ignore. And I don't think that would affect him. But the 1 year would, because first of all, he's going to have to get interviewed by the NCAA, and they're going to be very accusatory. And Harbaugh's not the type of guy to take crap. You know, he's just not. And he doesn't think he did anything wrong. And look, he may not have known how far along Connor Stallions was going on this allegedly sign-stealing deal, but we heard exactly what the NCAA president said. While he said that they had won the championship fair and square, they did take the unusual decision to share information about the cheating allegations during the season to help eliminate doubts about the legitimacy of the Wolverines' title run. But on the other end of that, the NCAA said that they had received very compelling information that the Wolverines were involved in a broad and unusual sign-stealing scheme. Of course, Jim Harbaugh got a 3-game suspension from the Big Ten. That was a big mess. And, of course, Michigan was going to sue, and they were getting ready to go into court. And then the Big Ten and the NCAA said, well, here's the evidence. And they were like, oh, crap. So they went ahead and took the 3 games. They didn't want to go into court with that.
Does the defense's case hold water?
No. The defense is wrong.
They also fired an assistant, Coach Chris Partridge, and I don't know what his involvement was with it, but he was fired. And it talks about because they had brought the allegations into the public domain, that allowed Michigan and its opponents to adjust and erase their potential unfair advantages that the Wolverines would have had. And, of course, we know the president said, I don't regret doing it because sitting on the information would have really been terrible for every team involved, including Michigan, really. They also said, we do have a series of discussions going on with the infractions folks about whether or not we can't do something to speed up the pace of our investigations. Certainly in a case like this, we'd like to be able to move a lot more quickly. That shocks me. NCAA never moves slow. Actually, the biggest part of their punishment is hanging over your team and taking their time, and that's a big part of the punishment. Well, because this happened, and now there's a national title involved and all that, they're wanting to move fast. Now, I do not, hopefully they won't go through this whole vacating crap. Nobody really cares about that. That's just like, it is what it is. What are you going to hand the championship to Washington when they got hammered? It's just, that's a useless exercise in my opinion. But there's going to be ramifications, and they're going to go after the head coach because, look, you can't do plausible deniability. You can't say, oh, well, I didn't know what was going on underneath my nose. That doesn't matter. It's called institutional lack of control. And so they're going to, it's over 2.5 years too. So you can imagine it's going to be punitive. So Harbaugh not wanting to deal with that, I can kind of understand him going to the NFL. I personally think he should stay, take the $12.5 million a year. I think your Michigan fans would appreciate it. I think they would stick with you to the bitter end. And look, man, they're not going anywhere. You stick with them, they'll stick with you. But it's only a year. It's 1 year, and he'd still be able to coach the team like he did when he had the 3-game suspension, in my opinion. So I don't think it's a good decision for him to go to the NFL. I think he should stick with this and stick with Michigan. They stuck with him, and they supported him great. He should stick with them, but I don't think he will. But we'll find out soon enough. But this is unbelievable for Ohio State, what's happening, because let's look who else is leaving. Their two top players on offense, J.J. McCarthy and running back Blake Corum, declare after leading the team to a national title. They're moving on to the NFL. McCarthy did a great job, posted a 27-1 record. And I know the Ohio State folks are going to say, yeah, but they were still I get that, but they had a great ending. Let's put it that way. Blake Corum's an excellent runner. He'll have a good career in the NFL. And I think both these guys will be picked fairly early. I wouldn't be shocked if McCarthy's picked in the first or second round. Quarterbacks are at a premium. Now, Corum, being a running back, that's not the best position to go into the NFL, but he's so good, he'll get picked up and make a lot of money. But there are more guys leaving than just that. And this is actually a tweet that went out by Ohio Divided. It says, JJ gone, Corum gone, Junior Colson gone, Josh Wallace gone, Jalen Harrell gone, Braden McGregor gone, Chris Jenkins, Zach Zinter, 40-plus seniors gone, Harbaugh interviewing for the NFL jobs. Says they see the writing on the wall, the NCAA coming, a lot of changes in 24. And then he had to put a little smart aleck comment. He said at least they hit their 3-year flash in the pan. So anyway, look, you're going to have that anyway. You're going to have a lot of guys leave for the NFL, but especially after a national championship, and you got the NCAA breathing down your neck. And Ryan Day has got to – look, he's sitting pretty now. He's under a lot of pressure. He needs to beat Michigan next year. He needs to win the Big Ten. He'll get in the playoffs. They're loaded with talent. And they brought in a good quarterback, Will Howard, who was at Kansas State, and a very good running quarterback, which is what they needed. Last year with Kyle McCord, he threw the ball well, but he wasn't a very good running quarterback, and you need the dual threat. You've really got to have it in today's college football. It's critical because of those third downs. It could be 3rd and 3, 3rd and 6. That's the one thing J.J. McCarthy did really well. When he needed to run and get that huge first down, he was able to do that, and McCord was not. Plus, McCord threw the 2 interceptions in the Michigan game, which really, that was very detrimental. I hate to say it cost the game. You never want to say one play or 2 plays, but it was very hurtful for the Ohio State cause, especially being at Michigan. So Ohio State's making a lot of moves. We don't know what's going to happen with Michigan. We just don't. If Harbaugh leaves, they're going to have to find a head coach. And you think there are people leaving now. If he leaves, man, that transfer portal is going to fill up quick because they'll have 30 days to enter all the Michigan players. And I can tell you right now, there's plenty of players on that team that many teams would love to get their hands on. Some of those bully guys in the trenches, I can tell you the Vols would like to get a player or 2 out of Michigan. They kind of proved their point that when they want to move you, they will move you off that line. And they did it against Alabama. They wore out Washington. And they did it against Ohio State. They did it against some of the very top teams. And you don't push around Alabama, and they did. They bullied them. So those players will be highly prized in the transfer portal. So we'll see how this plays out, but it's not looking good for Michigan. Look, they got their national championship, though, man. Enjoy the title. It is what it is. You knew a lot of this stuff was coming down the pipe. So anyway, we'll see how this plays out, but I look for Ohio State to become dominant again in the Big Ten and to take back over like they did previously before Connor ever showed up. And if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Let's me know to continue to cover the SEC, my Vols, of course, and any of these big stories. I've been kind of interested in this Big Ten, and especially the Michigan story. That's just been a saga, and we'll see how it plays out. It's hard to take your eyes off of it. And if you've not subscribed, it's on your right, my left. Hit this little button right here. It'll help you get my videos, and you can keep up with this stuff. And right over here is a video YouTube thinks you'll like based on your viewing history. And we'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.